Well, hello, and good morning. Actually, it's good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. This is Caron, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Austin, Texas. Thank you for joining me today for our 13th episode. At least that's what I think it is. Our 13th episode of Roll of the Die. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? You guys, you just get me today. All of my normal hoppers are busy doing other things called life. So you just get to play with me today. So I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend it with me. Today is May 21st, and this is a change for us. Normally, our roll of the die is the second Sunday of the month. We adjusted because last week was Mother's Day, and we wanted to make sure. Hey, thanks, Sharon. We wanted to make sure that, everybody got time to spend with their moms and doing what they love to do and not have to be worried about splitting their time. All right, so let's go ahead and drama. Oh, Lord Almighty. Get that plumbing fixed, girl. I can't even barely imagine. So let's get the admin things out of the way like we normally do. You guys, any of the products that you see that I'm using today, and I've listed them in the description box, don't hesitate to shop on my online store at www.sweetsignatures.stampinup.net and use today's the month's host code. You have another week and a half to use the host code. And here's our host code. The host code is open from the 1st of May to the 31st of May. What does that do for you? If you shop on my online store and you use the host code, you get entered into that drawing at the end of the month. Well, actually, it'll be in the next month, where I draw all of the people that shopped with me and I host a giveaway. Something from my stash, my personal stash, that I get to give and bless someone else with. All right, so for every $50 purchase that you make or more, 50 or more, you will receive. Hey, thanks, Charlotte. Oh, it's good to see you. Awesome. Don't forget to check out the online exclusives. And oh, speaking of Charlotte, you guys, don't forget to ask me about Charlotte. Is the newest member of my team. Welcome, Charlotte. Thank you for signing up for us again. Just have fun. Let me know how we can grow together and stamp together, and let's just have a lot of fun with that. If you guys have a minute, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you share the video with me today, go out and share it. Come back and hit share for me, or in the comments, mention that you shared. All right, so let's get started today with what we're making today. All right, so the roll of the die, if you saw from the description, the die rolled friendship in colors, die cutting, embossing, and I'm missing one. I don't know why I don't write these things down. Michelle, do you remember what it was? Oh, DSP. There you go. And so let me share with you what I took inspiration from. I will have you guys know that up until this morning, I did not have any clue as to what I was going to make today. Foil or DSP. Thanks, Michelle. I had no idea what I was going to make today. So in my group, we have a group called Fabulous Fun Friday Stampers, and we do a one-to-one swap every month. And I got this card from none other than Sharon Coleman, and I'll share it with you. And this is where the inspiration for my card today is coming from. Sharon, this was such a beautiful card. I love it. And this is where my my inspiration for today came from. So you can see Sharon has a little bit of embossing. She's got die cutting. This is Blackberry Bliss, I believe, so it's not an in color. So I kind of took this and went where I was gonna go with my card today. So let's strap in and get ready, woohoo, to create a card. I'm gonna keep this right here for my little inspiration, right? So I can see it, so you can see. All right, here's what we're gonna need today. And I'm like Michelle. I see Michelle always have this little piece of paper So I don't know if you can see it, and it's probably going to get moved out of the way many, many times. But here, oh, you won't be able to see that. Here is what we're working with today. Our card base is going to be a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to need a piece of basic white that's 3 3/4 by 5. And then we're going to need scraps. Okay, we're going to need a big piece of scrap, maybe like a 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be for our die cutting, and then another piece of scrap for our sentiment. I chose to work with one of the newest in colors, copper clay. So we're going to need a piece of copper clay. I did. It was beautiful, Sharon. Copper clay, you're going to need a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece that's 2 by 5 1/2. And DSP is 1 by 7/8 and 1 by 3/8. And you guys, I always use, I always purchase the in color DSP, that pack that Stampin' Up has, the one that comes with the subtles, the neutrals that they change when we do colors. And I very rarely use them. So I decided I was going to use that pack today. All right, so let's get started. Let me move this out of the way. And I went ahead and I did a lot, if not all of the die cutting. Well, most of it. I didn't do it all for you today. All right, so here's what we're using. Oops. And I'm going to put stuff back in this little bin just so that my envelope, so that I don't lose it, okay? So here's my embossing. So I went and I used, this was one of our online exclusives. I don't know if you remember what those are. Hey, Kathy. And this one was one of the Basics 3D embossing folder. It came in a pack for the exclusives for $30, and there were 3 embossing folders that you got. This one was the dots, and I chose this because the DSP that I'm using has dots. So I thought I would coordinate with that. Okay, so let's put this away. So here's my embossed piece. Here's my DSP piece. And this is the 1 by 7/8 by 5 3/8 piece. Here's my copper clay that is 4 by 5 1/4. Here's my other copper clay that's 2 by 5 1/2. And as you guys can see, I try not to waste. So I already die cut my mat for my sentiment from that. That's already done. My card base, and I've pre-stamped my sentiment or my images, and this is from the new Cheerful Daisies bundle. Okay, let me grab that. So this is the stamp set that I'm going to be using today, the Cheerful Daisies, and this is a 2-step stamping process. There is this, and this is just a little, I might use this somehow. And the friendship was perfect. Your friendship means everything. So this is what I've chose to use for today's project. And then, you guys, I decided, outside of using Sharon's card for inspiration, the first thing I did, or next thing, was I wanted to do a fancy fold. Now, I have been, what's the word I'm looking for? I think I did last week, in our Sunday stamping group, I don't know how I got on to, I think it was Yvonne, that got me into easel cards. So I decided, after I looked at Sharon's, and then I said, oh, I want to do an easel card. So here's what I do. You have a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5 1/2, scored at the 4 1/4, and then we're going to go ahead again and score it at 2 1/8. Okay, and then you're going to fold and burnish that score line. Okay. So this is going to be the base of our easel card right here, like this, okay? So what I want to do now is I'm going to take our copper, that one. Oh, do you like, oh, I'm going to go with the dots just because that's what I embossed. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that together. And that's going to be on the inside of my card. Okay. How's everybody's weekend so far? I mean, I know it's almost over. And everybody that works, like myself, oh wait, I forgot about that in the middle. We got to get ready to go to work, right? So here's this, and then we're just going to take this piece and adhere it right on the inside, okay? All righty. Let me bring this down a little bit closer so that I can see it. And I want it to go, I don't want to leave any borders on the bottom. So edge to edge, and this is what we're going to have so far. Okay? That's what we're going to have on our card. All right, so we're going to set this aside for now. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere. And I like to make sure that I build everything first before I put things together. That way, I'll know if I'm off a little bit or where I'm at. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And you die cut the sentiment. There's this little tag die or sentiment label die that's in the bundle. This piece right here. And I used this, and I already die cut one for here and then one here, okay, for my layering piece. And now I'm going to use the sentiment, your friendship means everything, because this is a friendship. This is all about friendship on this one. Okay. Oh boy, I know I have my block somewhere. Let me tell you. All right, let's just grab a block. And so what I try to do because you guys remember that I just have a hard time like lining everything up, right? So the trick is to kind of make sure that it's even on your surface. And again, this is where my grid lines will come in. And then I'm just going to use the block, make sure that the block is lined up with another grid line. And as long as that's correct, then we should be fine. And as I use copper clay, I'm going to continue to use copper clay just to keep my theme going. And then I'm going to now, because I haven't used this stamp before, I'm going to condition my stamp. And I just run my finger over it. Then I'm going to grab my ink. I'm always going to test it out first just to make sure it's good. Oh, it's perfect. And then I'm going to line this up again and then make sure it fits right there. Perfect. Your friendship means everything. All right, so now that I want a border, the question that I have to decide on is do I want my border top or do I want my borders on the side? I think I want top. What do you guys think? Any recommendations, top or on the sides? What do you think the border should be? I know there's a delay, so I'm going to wait just a little bit. And see if there's any preferences. Okay, I don't hear any just yet. So I'm going to go with long. Oh, top. Thanks, Sharon. Great minds think alike. Everybody's saying top. So that's where I'm going to go. So I'm going to just, in order for me to get the borders on the top, I'm going to just cut straight in half, long ways. And then add a little bit of adhesive. Like that. Make sure everything is lined up. And then do the same thing on the bottom half. So now I have a little bit of a mat going on. So if I wanted to mat this entire thing, I would have done 2 pieces in the copper clay, cut one lengthwise, and then cut the other one widthwise. Then I would be able to do a border all the way around. But I just want to do this one. And there we go. So our sentiment is done, and it's ready for us when we are ready for it. Okay. All right, so the next thing I want to do is get this piece ready. So what I'm going to end up doing at this point is I had cut a piece just so that I could have a border. I was thinking about doing a paper border, but I think I want to use the ribbon. What do you guys think? The ribbon? I mean, the paper ribbon? Or do I use actual ribbon? I'll give you guys a chance to weigh in on that. So there's the paper ribbon, and then this, I'm going with the, sorry guys, I know I gave you guys the option, but I'm going with the ribbon. The ribbon was just a little shinier, and of course, you know, shiny got me. So we're going with some shiny old ribbon right here. Because it's shiny, and it's gonna break it up just a tad, y'all. So I'm gonna put a little bit of ribbon right here, like so. And I don't want to cut too much because I don't need a lot. All right. And now I'm going to turn this guy over. And I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the sides here. There we go. I got it turned wrong side up. And what this adhesive is just meant to do is to make sure that I tack my ribbon in place. And I'm going to go here and here. So, how's everybody's Sunday going so far? I'm excited. All right, so now that we've got this part done, we can go ahead and put our cardstock mounted on the copper clay mat layer. And I'm going to put a lot of adhesive because when you die cut or emboss, you create a lot of ridges, and we need to make sure that everything will adhere to the panel. So I do put a little bit of extra adhesive just to make sure things stick where they need to stick. Okay. There we go. And there we go. All righty. I'm looking for my little pin here. I'm not quite sure where it went. There it is. All right. So we've got most of our layers done. So what we're going to do now, or eventually, is we're going to put this guy like this. Going to have our sentiment, and then we're going to put our die cut pieces on. Okay. So let's get everything. So you can see our card is beginning to take shape, right? Can you see it? All right. So I went ahead already and I pre-stamped some of the images from the stamp set already. So the colors I've used is I've done second generation stamping, and this is the copper clay and crushed curry are the colors that I used. Now, the reason I didn't stamp this or die cut this already, especially these two, is I wanted to share with you a trick. Thanks, Kathy. All right, so let's get these guys cut out so we can bring our mini cut and emboss machine in here. All right. All right. And I'm going to start with so the trick with this one, okay, is this is kind of like a, what is it, a cornflower? Is that what it's called? A cornflower. And you'll see when you see the die that there's a little head where it should go. Now I could have stamped that part already, but if you don't get this part lined up properly, then when you stamp the little center of the plant, it could be off. So my tip for you when using this particular die is to stamp the leaf and the petal parts first, and then die cut, and then go in and stamp the that layer right there. All right, so let's get ready to and then let's get the other one out because I think both of them can fit on the machine. I think they both can fit, and I should. I don't know how I got that one so fast, but I just did. All right, now I need my little tape. You know, that little green tape that I have, that thing just moves, here we go, everywhere all at once and doesn't want to ever stay where it's supposed to be. All right, so here we go with our green tape. And I'm gonna make sure that I put, to keep it in place, make sure I keep it in place. I'll probably tear that a little bit more. Right? And then I forgot these little green stems right here. Oh, I used garden green for the stem. And when you stamp the garden green, the tip for you to know whether this is up or down is this little offshoot branch that's going up the stem. So if you know it's this direction, you'll know that it's in the right orientation, versus if you put it on your card and it's this direction, you're in the wrong orientation. Okay, that's tip number 2. All right, let's get all of this lined up. And I'm thinking maybe it can all fit. That's done. Let's get a little bit more here. And then let's just grab our machine. All righty. Perfect use of the mini cut and emboss machine. It fits in such tiny places. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And now let me grab my plates. So I will need plates 1 and plates 2 for this project, okay? So as you can see, here's our plate 1. We're gonna offset our plate 2 just a little bit for a little E formation. And then we're gonna layer our die pieces in here. There's one. Where's the other one? Here's 2. May not, let me cut this off. And then here's 3. So we are able to get all 3 pieces on for die cutting. Then we'll put our second cutting plate on, line that up with cutting plate 1 or base plate 1, and then roll that through the die cutting machine. And then watch it do its magic. Uh-oh. No. My stem shifted a little bit, even though I had this green tape on it. So I'm going to put that back on. Just a tad. Everybody shifted just a tad. Okay. Okay. That's our first. Let's put this to the side. And let's get these out. Just be careful, even though it's not as tacky, you still could potentially rip your artwork. So just be a little extra careful when you're removing the green tape. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. And then where's my little whatever? All right, and here's our little branch. So that's 1. Then we've got to do this a couple more times. So I did not pre-do any of this, so there is no magic of television on this one. You actually got to watch me die cut. I'm not getting this one lined up so easily. I think this one, oh, this one goes here. That's what it is. Okay. Then we're going to put this back on here, like so. Put another piece on here, like so. That one's ready. We need our second piece, which I didn't cut off. Again, just remember, what's that called? This, not the stamen. Like, is that the stamen? You know, sometimes my science and biology just be like going out of my head, but I think that was the stamen. Is that what it was called, the stamen? Okay, that's piece number 2. And then we got to get some more of our die cut. And now that I've done these, I'm probably going to die cut the remaining ones, or fussy cut, just because it's quicker. And y'all know I like quick. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead and get these guys run through the machine one more time, and then get ready with the final assemblage of our card. Let me fix this just a bit. Now be careful when you offset the cutting plates, because the point of everything is that everything still needs to be within the periphery of the 3 plates in order for it to die cut successfully, okay? Let me put it away because I have been known to lose my dies and I don't want to lose them. Here's the second one. And put that right here. Put the die back. And lastly is our second stem. That's what I mean. When I realized when I cut that this bottom piece was not in between all 3 of the cutting plates. So when I tell you about something, it's really because either I have missed it myself, and it's from pure experience, haha, that I'm telling you what not to do in the future. All right, so we've got these done. Got a little bit of stamping left to do, so let's go ahead and take that, get that done. So you see my die cut was a little off, but we're going to use those anyway. So in the die, or in the stamp set, you see 2 different centers of the flower. This is for the smaller, and this is for the center of the big daisies. So this is what I meant when I said, now that you have die cut that, you know exactly where the little center stamen of the smaller flower should be. And I'm going to go in with another in color, new to me, and this one is called Wild Wheat. It may be off, but I just want to use it and see what it looks like, okay? What are you guys thinking about the new in colors? Oh, that's going to be very dark. I'm not going to use that. That's very dark. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm not using it. It's too dark for what I want to do. I think I'm going to use a little bit of Old Olive, maybe, for the center. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with a little bit of Old Olive. You like all of them, Sharon? I mean, they are definitely in my wheelhouse, but oh yeah, I'm going to stamp off on the green. And then go right in here, like so. And all I did was I stamped off. I did second generation because I thought Old Olive full strength would be a little bit too dark. So I just went second generation stamping on that one. And then for my copper clay, I think I'm going to go with crushed curry for that center. Good, we're going to go with the copper clay. I'm sorry, with the crushed curry to get the center for that flower done. All right, so let's put these away because again, I don't want to lose anything. You know, sometimes I get my stamp sets and when they have little small pieces, I don't use them, and I tell you why. Because one, I hate having to try to figure out the block, the smallest block to use without creating a big mess. And two, if I'm going to lose anything, that's exactly what it is I'm going to use. That little piece, which may seem so inconsequential to everything. Oh, I love the ink. Oh, the new ink colors are growing on you. They're cute. I mean, they are definitely in my wheelhouse. I'll say that. Yeah, I'm going to stamp off on this one for my centers. And let me see. If you notice on here, there's this big dip right here. On the stamp itself, you see that there's a little area that's raised a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to use to line up. Let me make sure. Oh, no. I'm going to use this way to line up where my center should be. Okay. All right, so I think we can start assembling now. So we've got flower, flower, do we want to put that in there? So I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to line everything up. So what do you guys think? Do I keep the little flowers in there? Or do I just keep the big flowers on the outside? What do you think? The ribbon does fray really badly. So the tip for that is if you have a little bit of fray check, I think is what it's called in sewing, fray check. If you have a little bit of fray check, you can use that to kind of keep the ends from fraying. So that's a tip as well. You want to use all of them? Okay. So let's figure out how I'm going to put all of them in there. So if we did something like this, then we could have this guy like that. I know where this one's going to go. I think this guy's going to be my stop down there. I know exactly what I'm going to do. All right, so this is going to go like this and like this. We're going to have this go right here like so. All right. Keep little in there. All right. All right. So I'll keep one of the little ones out there because y'all said to keep one of the little ones. So I'm going to do that. So I have one that I'm going to keep up here. Right. Then I have another one that I'm going to keep. I'm going to put this one down here like so. Then no, I like him being out here. All right, so where are my dimensionals here? Where are my dimensionals? Thank you, Sharon. I am definitely going to pop him up. No guesses on how many dimensionals today? I think only 2 can fit. Where are my minis? The minis will be able to fit. Yeah, where are my minis? That's why we have mini dimensionals for people like me who absolutely have to have everything stuck down. Boom. Boom. All right, so 6. Yes, on this little piece of paper, I did 6 dimensionals. Yes, I did. I did 6. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. All right, so let me put this guy back here so I can gauge what I want to do. All right, so if this is going to go here or something like that, then I want him to be somewhere up here. Awesome. Okay, then I'm going to need some dimensionals for this guy. And let's go with the bigger ones. And I'm going to keep it kind of in here. I think how many do you think I'm going to use on this one? I think I'm going to use about 4. All right. So here we have this guy now. We're just going to put him right here. Well, it's not even. I'm going to put this about right here. Okay. And that is that. Okay. Now I'm going to add my adhesive. Oh, I just made a mess. I just made a big old mess. That's what happens when you're not thinking. That's what happens when you're not thinking. That's what happens when you're not thinking. Let's grab all of this off. And you know what I'm going to do, Tip? I'm going to grab my embossing buddy. And I'm going to detackify. There's like a little powder that's in here that I'm just going to tap on where I had put adhesive erroneously. just to de-tackify it. If you didn't know that, now you do. So all I'm looking for is to make sure now that I don't need adhesive over the entire card. I just need it on this bottom portion here. All right, so let's go. So we just need it down here, a little bit like that. Perfect. And then, because I want to make sure it's lined up, I'm going to fold it down like that. Oops, like that. Then press the bottom in place. Boom. There you go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of dimensional on here. Another dimensional. There we go. Get this guy on here. And this little cornflower right here is going to add as our, it's going to function as our, what do you call that thing? Our little stopper for our easel. Put this guy back here. Because I do want to, I mean, I die cut them. I may as well use it, right? So if I put this on here, maybe like that. What do you think? I gotta have the stem, I think. Gotta have the stem. Grabbing a glue dot. Gonna put the glue dot and the stem on my plant, my flower, like there. Okay. Then I'm just going to decide where I want this. And I'm going to have it just like that. Okay. And I'm going to double stack my dimensionals because I think it needs to be a little bit higher. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to double stack them. $12. All right. And when I say double stack them, all I really mean is that I'm just going to, because I want it to be, the stop to be like really noticeable. Oh, come on. All righty. These are very strong, you guys, in case you didn't realize that. Stack, stack. Stack. Wait. Stack. One more. And then I'm going to need Da-da-da-da. Looking for my strips. No, I have strips somewhere. I just saw them earlier today. Here we go. And I'm going to add a strip right down just a little bit. And so now everything that's going to need to be stuck down is stuck down. All right, so let's figure out how we're going to put this baby on here for it to act as our stop. And then I'm thinking what I might do, I know so many thoughts going through my head, is maybe do another sentiment, but I'm not sure about it, so I won't do it today. If I decide to do it, then I'll add it later. But I think for today, all I'm going to do is make sure that this guy is on here. So now we have a stop. All right, guys, I think this card is done. Again, here's my inspiration. I loved Sharon's card so much. I really did. And so I took inspiration from her card and did the die cuts and the embossing, and I turned that into where I wanted to do a fancy fold for you, an easel fold card. You know what I don't have, you guys? I have no bling on this thing. This is Caron we're talking about here. What the hey? Out comes the Wink of Stella. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I gotta have me some bling. Yep. There we go. So here's our card for today, you guys. Thank you, Sharon, for the inspiration, because without you, you know, I would have been stuck today in terms of coming up with what card that I wanted to do. But instead, I think this came out pretty cool. Don't overlook the in color and the subtle, the DSP that coordinates with the color suites. Don't overlook that, you guys. They make for very quick, very fun, easy additions to your cards. This one right here. And if you haven't thought about it, the basics 3D embossing folders, definitely think about adding those to your cart as well. Those are definitely a must-have for your collection. So how does this work? And I'm not going to put it down flat because I just added the Wink of Stella. So when you send your card to your guest, whomever that may be, it'll send and it'll fit right in the envelope just like this. And then when they get it and they open it up and they put it on their desk, this is what they'll see. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over this way. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart. Can you see it that way? I love it. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me today. Oh, I still have to roll the die for next month. Let me tell you about some upcoming things too. Have you subscribed to my channel, my Facebook, my newsletter, or my blog? I put out the save the date for the next mystery stamping event. It'll be 1 week from today, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the first clue will go out on Saturday, the 27th, and it'll go out on my blog, in my online store. It'll go out in my newsletter, and that's where you can and I'll email it if you are on my customer list as well. So Don't forget to set your clocks, your time for 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on May 28th. Our mystery stamping event. No, we just did embossing. I'm not doing embossing. Y'all, this Stampin' Up trash bin is gonna come in handy. So as well, if you guys want to take the challenge and see what you can create using the elements of the die, please do so and share with me what you have created. Again, you can share them on my Facebook page. You can email them to me. Oh, here we go. Sympathy and over the top. I'm going to take that out. Which one do you want to get rid of? Over the top or sympathy? Because we try over the top and sympathy just don't go in my brain. It just does not work. And we just did this one, so we're gonna re-roll those two die. Those two. Which one do you want to sympathy or over the top? Re-roll. One of those we're re-rolling. And die cuts. We're going to re-roll these two stamps, those two blocks. Oops. Still over the top. I guess this thing wants us to do over the top. We just did that. Oh. Y'all, this thing really wants us to do over the top. I'm just saying. All right. So here we go. For our June roll of the die, our elements are bling, layering, sympathy, neutrals, and monochromatic. Those are the elements that we have to work with for next month. I hope you guys join me next month to see what you create using these elements. Thanks again for joining me, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, my newsletter, and my blog to stay informed of what it is we're working on today. Have a great day and happy stamping.